Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Children and Ramadan. Normally, children are not looking forward to Ramadan. They think it's a difficult month, that it is going to be a fasting, tiring, thirsty month. That is because we haven't really primed their mind to think about it logically and realize, actually speaking, there is not much of fasting. Of course, it's the fasting month, but actually, compared to the other days, are we really fasting? No, not really. Because during normal days, we are eating from morning about 8 o'clock till 8 o'clock in the evening. And then after that, for another 12 hours, when we are sleeping, we don't eat and drink and so on. Whereas during Ramadan, it's only reversed what time we are eating. But how much we are eating and during period, it's the same. Because from morning about 6 o'clock till evening 6 o'clock for 12 hours, we are fasting and waiting without drinking water. True. But from evening 6 o'clock till next day is about 5:36, we are eating and drinking. Actually, much more than what we would in normal days. If only we explain this to the children, we are not really going hungry or thirsty. We are just reversing the time, 12 hours from day to night. That's all. That is what's happening. Already they would sit back comfortably thinking, oh, that's good. Right? We are not really going to go hungry as such. And we must inform the children, though the actual reason for fasting is not to find how hunger feels, rather it is really to get taqwa, that is God consciousness. All the activities during Ramadan is catering towards that. We have to understand that. We have to explain that to the children on one side. On the other side, when we do that, it really makes our willpower stronger. We would be able to do anything and everything if we set our hearts about it. That is what the Ramadan leads people to. That is when you know that though you are having food and water at home, you are not supposed to eat or drink. You have to control your mind. You have to control your desire and stay so for the sake of Allah. That increases your willpower and that can come handy in all our other matters. When we want to stay away from any sin whatsoever, that is what's going to help us. Similarly, when we want to do some good, the laziness or the tiredness or unwillingness comes across stopping it. It's the willpower that overcomes that and say, no, for Allah's sake, I'm going to do this. We have to chat about this to the children. We have to speak to them. This way you will learn how to conquer any obstacles that you might come across in your life. You can get what you want. You can achieve what we want if only we realize what fasting is about. In addition, of course, to this being the month of Quran. That's another thing we are nowadays forgetting. We have to tell the children that this month is the month of Quran. This is the month Allah mentions as the month of Quran. Shahru Ramadan alladhi unzila fihi al-Quran hudal linnas, for guidance. And therefore, we have to pay special attention to the Quran. And we have to tell the children, you have to try to completely finish once at least, reciting the Quran from cover to cover. If they are grown-up children, say about more than 12, 13 years, we should encourage them to read the Quran. It is a pity that we, the Muslim community, in spite of being 98% literate educated, we still keep Arabic language as a non-entity. We are just teaching our children just to read only. We never teach any other language that way. The most important language, the language in which the religious book, the Quran is being sent down to us, the hadiths are being related in Arabic. We do not pay attention to Arabic. We do not teach the children Arabic. We do not emphasize the importance to them. We do not even send them for classes. Even in the madrasas, when they are spending more than 2-3 hours a day for 7-8 years, we do not take interest in teaching them the Arabic language. We must give that desire to them from childhood. We must tell them, learn Arabic language. It is the easiest, most logical, and a language that Allah has promised that He had chosen Arabic because it is so easy, but still we don't believe it, and because of that we don't tell the children. You learn the language of Arabic and you will understand that's so easy, and you will want your children to know. This Ramadan is a good time for them to start. They don't have to go to the university level now itself, but at least if they will study during this Ramadan month, just one word a day, they will know almost 50% of the words in the Quran. That is the truth. That's amazing, yes, but that is the truth. It's as easy as that. And also, the children must feel Ramadan is a time where you should be joyful, full of activity, and be happy, and be aware of Allah's blessings. And you can do many things to please Allah, rather than just looking at the WhatsApp and waiting, or internet, or playing games, or sleeping half the time. Rather, we should tell them that this month should not be of any difference at all as to your activities. Rather, it should be much more active than the rest of the month, because you don't have to eat and drink, and therefore you are not feeling tired or full and sleepy. You are active, you will be able to do many things. And for that, we mothers, especially the mothers, have to make various ways where they can spend their time fruitfully. We have to get them into quiz, where a lot of quizzes are conducted online nowadays, where they can even earn gifts at the end of it if they answer all of them, for them to learn various words in the Quran that are familiar to them, for them to understand the importance of the Ramadan in various ways, how the non-Muslims are looking at it, and how even non-Muslims in the Western world are adopting the fasting as a means to attain good health. That's a very important thing for the youngsters to recognize, because if you tell them it is just for the sake that you are supposed to do, you are doing it, that will never be interesting. That will be very boring. So we have to give them the interest, for them to understand that we have to understand the importance of it. We have to study it up, find out the advantages of fasting, the things that we could do during fasting, and we have to make that available to them. And make competitions with various activities during Ramadan. Who prays first as soon as the adhan goes, who prays more sunnah prayers, who is going to recite most of the Quran, who is going to read most of the Quran, who is going to win in the quizzes or competitions that are being conducted, and even arrange competitions amongst them. And make sure that they don't spend this valuable time during Ramadan in useless activities like playing Ludo or Carom something like that, or going out in playing cricket and making it difficult for the neighbors and making them resent the month of Ramadan. Tell them that you have to value the other people's comfort during this month even more than the others. I'm not saying playing carom and other games are haram or wrong, but don't let them spend all the time in that. Let them make their own games and let them make time for interesting things which will also be useful to them in various ways. In addition, it is also important for them to become aware of their surroundings, of their neighbors, of their relatives, the people who are suffering. People do not have as much as they have. And for them to start giving charity to the other children, other people, other neighbors, even to a miskin who comes to your doorstep. Instead of you going and giving, get the children to go and give. A child who had not been trained to give in childhood will never be able to let go of worldly possessions in their adulthood, however much they have. That's why sometimes we see many well-to-do people are miserly and they do not know the joy of giving. We have to ensure that the children learn the joy of giving, the happiness that it causes you, and the happiness it causes the recipient. And most of all, the happiness that Allah showers on them. So if we can think about on these things, it will be much better. And also, now when the festival comes, we have got the wrong notion that every child, every person must have new clothes. There is no Quranic verse, no hadith to say so. Rather than that, you wear whatever you have, the best of what you wear, to go for the prayers. That's all that is said in the hadith. But we adults have brought that notion that a new set of clothes is absolutely important, and therefore whether the parents have enough money or not, we try level best to please the children, and therefore we give them the wrong impression what the fasting is about. It is not about feasting. It is not about wearing new clothes on the festival day. Rather, it is a month of the Quran and it's a month of giving. These two things must be emphasized to them. It's even a better thing if you can persuade your children, encourage them to give out of their own wardrobe, out of their own possessions, to give it to other people. It doesn't have to be absolutely new, but at least for a very poor person, a dressable cloth is very valued than we getting a car. So we have to convey these ideas to the children, make sure they take part in it, and make sure that they continue to practice this year after year after year, so that even after you're gone, inshallah, they will continue to serve the world in the way of Allah, fi sabilillah. Let us think about it. Let us ponder on how to train our children to behave during Ramadan, and may Allah guide all of us in the straight path. Wa akhir da'wana anil hamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.